Running a marathon is a tough task. There is a reason why only 1% of the population runs a marathon. I love the marathon distance because it is such a challenge both physically and mentally. It helps you realize that you are capable of so many goals that you want to accomplish that you didn't think were possible. I definitely encourage any runner at some point in time when they are ready to take on the challenge of the marathon. Marathon training takes time and dedication, and I want anyone that is thinking about running a marathon to be prepared as possible before they start their training. Here are 8 tough realities when you are training for a marathon. So the first tough reality for training for a marathon is that you will be uncertain about many things. So you will be uncertain about your training. You will start thinking, am I running too many days per week? Am I running too fast? Am I running too slow during my training? Am I hydrating? Am I fueling correctly? What if I have to go to the bathroom during my training run? Am I getting an injury? Is this ache and pain normal? Will I be able to even complete the marathon in the first place? These are all possible things that will creep up in your mind when you are training for your first marathon. So the next tough reality is that you will dread the long run. Dreading the long run is very normal. So even for experienced runners, we have times where we dread the long run because we are just tired, or we've had a long week, or we just know what's ahead of us. Dreading the long run is very possible, but I do have a video about some mental tips that can help you get through it. So make sure you check out that video so you can be more positive about your long run and know what to expect and how to trick your mind into thinking that you are capable of doing more than you ever thought of. The next tough reality is marathon training burnout is a real thing. So you might be all excited at the beginning of your training, you just can't wait to tackle this accomplishment, but then as training goes on and you get towards the end, you will start probably feeling burnt out. And this happens to all of us. Our body is just getting tired and it's almost time for tapering. So tapering is another thing in itself, and you will appreciate when you do taper because your body, you physically and mentally will need the tapering period. But yeah, marathon burnout is such a thing, but just know that it is totally normal. All runners experience this at some point in their training. On your last long run, you will find a sense of relief and accomplishment when you complete your last 20-mile run. Because it's such a great thing and you know that you get the 3-week taper before the marathon, and trust me, that tapering period is for a reason, because physically and mentally you need it and you're exhausted and you'll be all fresh and ready to go when the marathon comes. So the next tough reality is that temptations of quitting will arise. There will be times during your training that you, especially if it's your first training or you're more of a new marathon runner, you will have thoughts in the back of your mind and you will doubt yourself and you might consider quitting at some point. Don't let these thoughts overtake your mind because you can get through them. During your training runs, there will be times when you really feel like cutting it short. So you might have a 20-mile run one day and you think, you know what, I am just not feeling it today. I think I'm going to cut it short to maybe 16 miles. I think that will be good enough. Don't let that temptation overcome you, because if you make it to 16 miles, you only have 4 miles left, and you have to think, okay, I only have 4 miles left. This is an easy everyday run for me. So you have to fight back those negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts that you can do it. You might be all excited about your long run at the beginning of your training, and then towards the middle, you might think, I don't think I want to train anymore. You have to tell yourself this is not an option because I didn't come this far to quit halfway through my training. I have to get through this. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to accomplish this goals. Probably in the long run, after a month of giving up, you might beat yourself up over it. Keep going. Know that you can do it. The next tough reality is that bad runs do happen. Sometimes we are fatigued, we have lack of sleep, and we are just not feeling it. So for example, my training has kind of been rough lately. I've been pretty fatigued and tired, and my pace has slowed down a little bit. And you know, we do have times as runners where we're not going to hit PRs. I mean, it's normal to have a bad run every now and then. There are some times where our pace is going to be off. We are not going to be able to hit the pace that we want to all the time, and that is okay, because there is a reason why our body is slowing down sometimes. We just have to listen to our body, and the most important thing is to remember that we just need to get the endurance in so that we can complete the training. That's the most important thing, just covering the ground, getting those miles in. And don't beat yourself up if you have to walk during a training run. I mean, walking's okay. Sometimes we need little walking breaks to get us through it. Sometimes we need walking breaks can give us a break physically and mentally. Don't be worried if you have to walk some during your run, because you're still getting the endurance in and you're still covering the mileage that you need to. Just know that this is okay and it's not going to affect your training that much. The next tough reality is that you might miss some long runs. So whether it's due to illness, injury, not having a babysitter, the weather outside, it's storming, it's just way too cold and you just can't bear it outside, or you have an extreme heat advisory, some type of family issue, or some other type of obligation that you have to contribute to. These are all normal circumstances, and I know it's easy to beat yourself up for missing a run, but don't. Chances are that you're probably going to be fine if you miss one long run, a long run or two. You can always make it up the next week. That's why I definitely believe in a flexible, adaptable marathon training plan, because it's made it so much more doable for me as a mom, because I've really had to adjust my training once I became a mom. So yeah, it's totally doable. You can do it. So no worries about missing a training run. Another tough reality is that training has to be a priority in your schedule. So in order to keep on track on your training, you might have to make some sacrifices. You might not be able to have late nights and go out, and you might not be able to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning and expect to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning to do a long run. So those you might have to sacrifice. Know that you need to have sleep as a priority and you need to be getting to bed. Strive to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep when you are doing your marathon training. I know that this isn't always possible, but try to do this during most runs, because that's going to help you, benefit you when you are doing your long run. Chances are you probably will have to make sacrifices on your weekends to get your long run in. Usually a lot of people do Saturday, Sunday long runs. I mean, if you have a different work schedule, you might do it during the week. But you're going to probably have to do it on your day off, just because you're going to have more time, because these long runs can take anywhere from 2.5 to a little over 3 hours to complete. So you want to be able to allot that in your schedule. The next tough reality is that you will be uncomfortable. Expect pain during your training. You will experience pain. So 15 miles into your long run and you have 5 miles left, you're more likely going to feel tired and exhausted, and you're going to have negative thoughts running through your mind, and you're going to have to fight back those thoughts with positive ones, that you can do it. And yeah, pain is just part of the process. Just know that the pain and being uncomfortable makes you stronger for your next long run and will prepare you for the marathon distance. And during your long run, you will definitely feel fatigue and you will feel like quitting. That is just normal. I mean, anytime you are uncomfortable, it's always so easy to take the path of least resistance and want to give up. As humans, we want to feel comfortable. But know that being a little bit uncomfortable is okay. You will get through it, and know that when you get done, you can relax and you can reward yourself. A nice hot bath, a nice hot shower, maybe a nice smoothie or a protein drink, or some type of chocolate milk. It's a very popular thing after a long run to rebuild your muscles. Reward yourself. You know that you're going to get this at the end. You're going to be uncomfortable right now, but the pain will end soon enough and you'll get to enjoy some of these nice rewards after your run. So to hear more about marathon training and the marathon race, make sure you watch the next video on the screen about how to run your first marathon.